Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatin Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktin Bhavadir Naistiti Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devagi Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for the morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 10. 2, 3, 10. The canto name is Cosmic Manifestation, and the chapter name is the pure devotional service, the change in the heart. Please repeat the sloga behind me. Akāmaḥ sarva-kāmo.
akāmaḥ sarva-kāmo.
Mokṣa-kāma udāra-dhīḥ.
mokṣa-kāma udāra-dhīḥ.
tīvreṇa bhakti-yogena.
tīvreṇa bhakti-yogena.
yajeta puruṣaṁ param.
yajeta puruṣaṁ param.
Word by word meaning. Please repeat behind me. Akāmaḥ.
akāmaḥ.
One who has transcended all material desires.
transcended all material desires.
Sarva-kāmaḥ.
sarva-kāmaḥ.
One who has the sum total of material desires.
sum total of material desires.
Va.
Either.
Mokṣa-kāma.
mokṣa-kāma.
One who desires liberation. Udāra-dhīḥ.
udāra-dhīḥ.
With broader intelligence. tīvreṇa. With great force. Bhakti-yogena. By devotional service to the Lord. Yajeta. Should worship. Puruṣaṁ. The Lord. Param. The supreme whole. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavinda A.C. Bhakti-yoga Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation, please repeat behind me. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the supreme whole, the personality of Godhead. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa, is described in the Bhagavad-gītā as puruṣottama, or the Supreme Personality. It is He only who can award liberation to the impersonalist by observing such aspirants in the brahmajyoti, the bodily rays of the Lord. The brahmajyoti is not separate from the Lord, as the glowing sun ray is not independent of the sun disk. Therefore, One who desires to merge into the supreme impersonal brahmajyoti must also worship the Lord by bhakti-yoga, as recommended here in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Bhakti-yoga is especially stressed here as the means of all perfection. In the previous chapters, it has been stated that bhakti-yoga is the ultimate goal of both karma-yoga and jñāna-yoga. And in the same way, in this chapter, it is emphatically declared that Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal of the different varieties of worship of the different demigods. Bhakti Yoga, thus being the supreme means of self-realization, is recommended here. Everyone must therefore seriously take up the methods of Bhakti Yoga, even though one aspires for material enjoyment or liberation from material bondage. akāmaḥ is one who has no material desire. A living being, naturally being the part and parcel of supreme whole, puruṣaṁ param, puruṣaṁ puranam, as his natural function to serve the supreme being, just as the parts and parcel of body or the limbs of the body are naturally meant to serve the complete body. Desireless means, therefore, not to be inert like the stone, but to be conscious of one's actual position and thus desire satisfaction only from the Supreme Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this desirelessness as Vajaniya Parama Purusha Sugamatra Sva Sukatvam in his Sandarbha. This means that one should feel happy only by experiencing the happiness of the Supreme Lord. This intuition of the living being is sometimes manifested even during the conditioned stage of a living being in the material world. And such intuition is expressed in the manner of altruism, philanthropy, socialism, communism, etc., by the undeveloped minds of less intelligent persons. In the mundane field, such an outlook of doing good to others in the form of society, community, family, country, or humanity is a partial manifestation of the same original feeling in which a pure living entity feels happiness by the happiness of the Supreme Lord. Such superb feelings were exhibited by the damsel of Rajabhumi for the happiness of the Lord. The gopi loved the Lord without any return, and this is the perfect exhibition of the akāmaḥ spirit. Kama spirit, or the desire for one's own satisfaction, is fully exhibited in the material world, whereas the spirit of akāmaḥ is fully exhibited in the spiritual world. Thoughts of becoming one with the Lord or being merged in the brahmajyoti can also be exhibitions of kama spirits if they are desires for one's own satisfaction to be free from the material miseries. A pure devotee does not want liberation so that he may be relieved from the miseries of life. Even without so-called liberation, a pure devotee is aspirants for the satisfaction of the Lord. Influenced by the Kama spirit, Arjuna declined to fight in the Kurukshetra battle because he wanted to save his relatives for his own satisfaction. But being a pure devotee, he agreed to fight on the instruction of the Lord because he came to his sense and realized that satisfaction of the Lord at the cost of his own satisfaction was his prime duty. Thus, he became akāmaḥ. This is the perfect stage of perfect living being. Udāra-dhīḥ means one who has a broader outlook. People with desires for material enjoyment worship small demigods, and such intelligence is condemned in the Bhagavad-gītā 7.20 as Grita-jñāna, the intelligence of one who has lost his senses. One cannot obtain any result from demigods without getting sanction from the Supreme Lord. Therefore, a person with a broader outlook can see that the ultimate authority is the Lord, even for material benefits. Under the circumstances, one with a broader outlook, even with the desire for material enjoyment or for liberation, should take a worship of the Lord directly. And everyone, whether an akāmaḥ or sarva-kāmo or mokṣa-kāma, should worship the Lord with great expedience. This implies that Bhakti-yoga may be perfectly administered without any mixture of kāma or jnana. As the unmixed sun ray is very forceful and is therefore called tīvreṇa. Similarly, unmixed bhakti-yoga of hearing, chanting, etc. may be performed by one and all, regardless of inner motive. Om jñāna-timirandasya jñāna-ñana-śalāke chakṣurunmītam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmad-Bhakti-vedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavada Pashasha Desha Tarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today's sloka, Sukadeva Goswami is talking about the persons, the intelligent persons. A person may be, he may be an intelligent person, and the person may be fully on the, he has the full on all the material desire, or the person may be without any material desire, or he may be desire for the liberation. Any such cases, all such cases they must all mean they will worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what Sukadeva Goswami is stressing this point. You don't need to go for any other demigod worship, or you don't want to do sitting idle. So, any cases, if you have the material desire, if you don't have the material desire, if you want the liberation, all these cases you can worship the demigods. And here, the Purport talking about the liberated, the person who wanted to be a liberation through the, who is focusing on the brahmajyoti. So for that person also, it is the purpose of the person, he want to merge with the brahmajyoti. So they need to have the proper intelligence, proper understanding that the brahmajyoti is not different from the Lord, because the effulgence of the brahmajyoti is coming out from the Supreme Personality of Godhead body. The same, yes, the light emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the person, the impersonalist also should have that understanding that the effulgence, even though their desire is to merging with the Supreme Lord, merging with the brahmajyoti, but they also need to follow the bhakti-yoga process, because through the bhakti-yoga, it is easy to obtain the connect with the Lord easily, because the brahmajyoti is not different from the Lord himself. So like how the sun rays are coming from the sun. So we can't differentiate the sun is different, sun rays are different. Yes, the sun rays is coming from the sun. The similar way, the brahmajyoti is not different from the Lord. The brahmajyoti emanates from the Lord's body. So how the sun and sun rays are different, non-different, the Lord and the brahmajyoti is non-different. So the impersonalists also need to follow the bhakti-yoga so that they can get the desired result. And again, in the sloka, we are talking about akāmaḥ. So akāmaḥ means who have no material desire, the living being with a no material desire. So no material desire means, okay, I don't have any desires, so I don't want to worship anyone. So I don't want to act. I can be ideal. This is also one of the, this is not a good for a human being. So even you cannot be like a stone. Even though you are a desireless, so the person need to worship the demigod. Worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So at least even you are not the person who is not desireless, at least the soul's natural guna, the nature of the soul is Satchidananda Vigraha. So Satchit Ananda. So always they wanted to be in the happy mood, Ananda mood. So in such state, so to enjoy that Ananda also, you need to connect with the Supreme Lord. Then only the soul can be happy. The feel that the body, even though we are with the material body, because our soul nature is happiness, the Ananda, the blissful mood. That blissful mood also can be experienced, because even because of the contamination in this material world, we cannot experience the ananda, blissful, without the connection with the Lord. Even though our natural guna is ananda, because it is covered by the material contamination. So in order to remove this material contamination, you don't have any other material desires. In that state also, to feel that happiness, to feel that blissful mode, the person should connect with the Supreme Lord through Bhakti-yoga. So all the, even though, so we saw the, for the liberation also, we need to connect with the Bhakti-yoga. Even though you know material desire, in order to experience the happiness also, you need to get into the Bhakti-yoga. And akāmaḥ. So in that, so this is akāmaḥ. And it is kāmaḥ. Kāmaḥ means the person who has the material desires, the full of material desires. That person also, he can also worship the Supreme Lord. So why? Because many of the less intelligent people, they will, in order to satisfy their material desire, they are worshipping the demigods. So there are 33 crores of demigods. They will go each and every god, and based on their desires, they are worshipping the demigods. Because those material desires may be the temporary and only is connected with the bodily concept of life. But still, those material desires also sanctioned by the Supreme Lord. That is what in Bhagavad-gītā, Supreme Lord is saying, that even though that the person is worshipping the demigod, that whatever the outcome he is expecting, whatever the blessings they are expecting from the demigods, that is initially that are actually given by the Supreme Lord. Without the sanction of Supreme Lord, the demigods cannot award that to the person who is worshipping a demigod. So that is actually directly coming from the Supreme Lord. So the person should understand that, so they can directly worship the demigods. So that directly worship the Supreme Lord, so that they can get this desired result. So in any circumstances, you are maybe a desireful, it is full of desires, material desire and no material desire, and with a liberation. All three circumstances, you can worship the Supreme. You have to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called Bhakti-yoga. And in Bhagavad-gītā, in Supreme Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa also telling the same thing in Bhagavad-gītā 9.22. In the 9.22, Kṛṣṇa is saying that Ananya chintayanto mam ye jana paryupāsate tesam nityabhiyuktānam yogacchemam mahamyaham. So here Kṛṣṇa is saying that those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is source of everything, material or spiritual. Everything is the sources, Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad-gītā, again, Kṛṣṇa is saying that Aham sarvaisya prabhavo. So everything emanates from me. So even the spiritual and material, everything emanates from him. So Kṛṣṇa in this sloka, in this 9.22 sloka, he is saying that the person who is worshipping me with exclusive devotion, meditating upon my transcendental form, I carry what they lack. So whatever they are lacking, the Lord will give it back to, means give them, and preserve what they have. They will preserve whatever they have, it will be preserved. So in the material concept, if you see it, the materially, if somebody don't have lack something, if they worship the Supreme Lord, the Lord will satisfy their material things. And if they are, whatever they already have the materially, that can be also preserved. And if you take it in the spiritual way, there also, whatever they have the bhakti in their mind, the way they have, that can be preserved by the Lord. And whatever the lagging, the bhakti, because the human being, we became a human being because we don't have the bhakti fully. So whatever we are, even though we are doing the bhakti, there are some lagging in the bhakti. So whatever we are lagging, even though we are in the path of bhakti, without desiring, we are looking for the liberation, that kind of mode, that whatever we are lagging, that bhakti also not can be given. So either materially or spiritually, both the things can be given by the Lord, satisfy the Lord. He can provide it. Lord can provide those things. So this is the way of life. The way of life in the sense. So if you, there is an analogy Prabhupada always used to say. There is a tree. In the tree, if you pour the water in the roots, then automatically all the parts of the tree, branches, leaves, flowers, or the fruits, everything will be nourished. And if you pour the water on the leaves or branches, then it won't be useful. The similar way, if you pour the water, in the sense, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is like a root. So if you worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, automatically everything will be nourished properly. And also another analogy, Prabhupada, you say that our body, the limbs of the body, and our stomach is like a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if you properly nourish if you have the prasadam, properly nourish your stomach, if our limbs of the body, like our hand, is useful. What is the use of the hand? So while eating, if you need to take the food, means your hand is required. So with taking the food using the hands, if you put it on your mouth, automatically it will go to the stomach. So that food, it will processed in our stomach, and it got processed, and we will get the entire body is getting the benefit. It is not only the stomach, the entire body is getting benefit. So if you just keep the food on your hands without eating, then your food may be in your hand, but that is not useful for the hand also, and it is not useful for the body also, stomach also. So this is the analogy Prabhupada used to give. So if you use the proper way, where to put your effort, where to put your food. If you put your foot in your stomach, automatically all the limbs of the body will get nourished. Even though if you are foolish way, people keep the food in this current society, the people are keeping like food in the hand. Okay, let my hand enjoy this food. Let my shoulder enjoy food. Let my let's enjoy this food. So we cannot enjoy through other limbs of the body. If you want to enjoy the palatable food, that need to be put it in the stomach. So the stomach is the center point where it will process, and all the limbs of the body, your hand, legs, shoulder, everything get nourished. But if you put so this is the analogy Prabhupada used to give. So this is the two analogies we can understand that the bhakti need to be centralized with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not other any other any other things. So even though in this today's sloka, it is talking about three different kind of persons. One is the full of all material desire. The another person is without any material desire, and the third person is desiring the liberation. So, so the person who is having the broader intelligence, even though they are the three categories, all material desire, without desire, or desiring for the liberation, all must worship the any mean through, they need to catch hold of Bhakti-yoga and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead alone. This is the takeaway point from our today's discussion. So, that's the reason. So here in this sloka, so Sukadeva Goswami is stressing this Bhakti Yoga. So the Bhakti Yoga is the topmost of, even there are multiple other. We have the jñāna-yoga, karma-yoga. All the yoga, it is taking towards to the jñāna-yoga and the karma-yoga. They also taking to connecting with the Lord, but then more than karma yoga and jnana yoga, bhakti yoga is the bhakti yoga process is easy, and it is straight process. It's directly serving the Supreme Lord, so that you can satisfy the Lord immediately, and Lord will get satisfied. And once it is satisfied, if you put the stomach, put the food in the stomach, and the entire body it getting nourished. The similar way, once you put your focus and put your bhakti on the Supreme Lord, automatically the yoga kshema mama mahamyam. So automatically, whatever we are lacking, the Lord will give, and whatever we are already have, the Lord will be preserved. So we need to take it in the spiritual way. So whatever the spiritual advancement we are lacking, so that Lord will provide, and whatever the spiritual advancement we already have within us, that will be preserved. So when you focus on the bhakti yoga, when we concentrate on the bhakti, when you take it in the path of bhakti, that will give all these things. So please continue our bhakti, because continuing our bhakti is like, it is not like here Prabhupada is saying that this implies that bhakti yoga may be perfectly administered without any mixture of karma and jnana, as the unmixed sun ray is very forceful and is therefore called tīvreṇa. Similarly, unmixed bhakti yoga of hearing, chanting, etc. may be performed by one and all, regardless of inner motive. So, what is meant by unmixed bhakti yoga? The unmixed bhakti yoga means without any desires to enjoy this material world. That is the unmixed bhakti yoga. So that bhakti yoga, how it can be developed? By hearing and chanting the holy name of the Lord. Initially, it may be contaminated, but by repeating this hearing and chanting, our intelligence also will get purified. So once our intelligence got purified, we will understand that what is our original position, and by along with the chanting in the holy name of the Lord, that is the yoga dharma is current. So both are like two wheels of your two wheels. Okay, suppose if a train is going on the track, both the sides should be there. So how the both the wheels going together hand in hand, then only the train will move ahead. The similar way, hearing and chanting, both the sides both should go hand in hand. So the hearing will increase the desire to do the chanting, and the chanting will increase the desire to do the hearing. So both will help each other, and so that our bhakti can go in the next level. That is, it is in the progressive way it will go. So the hearing and chanting is very much important in the bhakti yoga. So the bhakti yoga can be, because there are 9 angas of bhakti yoga. We already discussed many times. There are 9 angas specified by Prahlad Maharaj. So in the 9 angas, if you catch hold of any one of the anga, then you can complete your bhakti. You can follow all the 9. You can follow any combination of the 9, or you can follow any one of that. All the things will give the same result and desired result. But how much fixed we are in that, based on that, we can progress in bhakti. Hare Krishna. Gandharaj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai.